Okay, students, welcome to the IoT session. And this part of the session, I'm going to show you how you can do the subscribing part, which means uh, in the cloud platform, we are using this Adafruit cloud platform. There are feeds available. From these feeds, we can obtain the value to our IoT device. And if you want, based on those values that we are obtaining from the cloud, based on those data, we can perform some action or we can do some work. Okay, actually. So in order to make the things very simple, I have just set it up a small setup with an LED. We can even put a servo motor and do some work, right? So in our class practical, we shall do that definitely. So if I'm showing you this setup, it's very simple. This part have not been changed. You know, the DHT 11 sensor is attached as usual. 5 volts have been set to here 5 volts, and ground has been set to Arduino's ground. Then the signal pin has been set to the orange color wire, which has been set to pin number 7 on the Arduino board. And on top of the Arduino board, you can see I am using the this no need. I'm using this Ethernet shield as well. Then apart from that, what I did was yesterday, just in order to make it fast, I just made a small another additional change, which is I wanted to put one more LED. So how I have set that LED, I'll just let you know, because it's easy if you are doing the wiring as well. I just put this LED in my, you can see there's a blue color rail and red color rail. So blue color rail is the negative one. So what I did is I put a black color wire here, black wire, and I connected that to the Arduino's ground. Okay, ground pin of the Arduino has been extended here. So this is, that's Arduino's ground is that blue wire. So if you take the LED, there is a, there is a length pin and a short pin, right? So the length pin is the positive and the short pin is usually the negative one. So the negative pin goes to the Arduino's ground rail, right? So the blue one I'm adding, and the positive pin I'm connecting to the other side. As you know, LED is a type of device. When you're powering it up, it can pull any amount of current, or it can pull as much as electrons as possible. So running electrons is known as electricity. So this, what will happen is if it draws too much of amperes, right, per second, how many what do you call electrons are running through the channel is known as the ampere. So once this LED drawing too much of amperes, there are two things going to happen. One is the LED will be damaged or its lifespan will be short. Number two, our Arduino board can get damaged if the Arduino is going to give too much of current through the boards, or if you're going to pull too much of amperes through the Arduino, then your Arduino board will be getting damaged. So in order to simply do that one, in order to restrict the how much it's going to pull, we are using a resistor here. I am using 220 ohms resistor. Okay, so later if you really want, I'll show you for each different type of components what is the standard amount of what do you call resistors that you can do. You can easily find those information in the internet. So usually for 130 or above ohms is recommended for LEDs. So I'm using here 220 ohms resistor. So the positive side of the LED is connected through a resistor, and that wire is extended from this rail to pin number 8 on the Arduino board, right? So pin number 8. So that is the wiring. Additionally, what I have done. So this is our setup. This is the setup. The recording is also going on, so no worries, we can continue. Now, since this part is done, now we have to, since the wiring part is done, now we have to go back to the code part or the visual part, right? So I'm going to share the screen again. You can see that I'm sharing this one. Yeah. Okay. Let's go first to the Adafruit IO section, right? So when you go to your Adafruit section, we need to create a feed here. Okay, we need to create a feed here. From this feed, we're going to accept values. We're going to accept values towards the IoT device. We're going to download, or we're going to subscribe the data from the cloud platform into our this one IoT device. So to do that, we can create a new feed. Before that, you can see in the sketch, you don't need this. In the sketch, you can see this one comes with the template code. This is the code that we opened yesterday. You can see set up a feed called on off. This is the default one I'm explaining you, which comes with the MQTT library. So how it looks like, you can see for subscribing to changes. Adafruit MQTT subscribe. Above ones are publish. This one is subscribe. It says on off button. On off button. That is the subscribing or subscription part. The object name is on off button. That is, we are creating the object equals Adafruit MQTT subscribe. Within brackets, we need to supply these arguments or parameters. So MQTT object, as well as we send in the path. So this is the name of the feed. So we are not sending any values from the Arduino to the cloud. So automatically this feed will not get created. It will not get created. You have to manually, we have to manually create this one in our program. Okay, right. So I'm going to do modifications to the code, children. So the example, I'm going to change it. So file, save as, let's say HND51 DHT example. I'll say subscribe demo 1. So subscribing demo 1 I'm doing to you. So let's save that. Subscribe demo 1. I will share this code after the session. Now, after doing that, we will be going down here, and you can see here there is a section called subscribe, right? So this is our wait for incoming subscription packets. That means values are coming from IoT device to this particular program. So we are always listening to the packets which are coming from there. And in order to keep this listening active, right? Or else if you want to maintain the connection between your IoT device and the cloud platform active, you need to do something called ping. So down here, you can see before the code finishes, there is a code given here after our delay and all. Ping the server to keep the MQTT connection alive. So this has been given. So we give if not MQTT.pin, then we disconnect it. So usually it doesn't happen once we have powered it up, and once we connect to IoT platform, it will be alive. Let's come up here again, right? Now this is the part I'm interested in. I'm going to add a code here, right? So I'm going to add a code here. What's going to be done, right? What's going to be done? Before that, before we add the code there, what we can do is we can print the value which is coming from the IoT platform. That means from that feed that we are creating there, and when the status changes, actually we're going to have a toggle button when we click on or off the values that we're going to receive here, right? So that is what's going to happen. So we can do that part. So no worries. We will do this part. Okay. So in order to do this one, in order to demonstrate this one, I need to again go back to Adafruit here, and I'm going to create a new feed, right? Watch this, right? So if you are writing down the steps, this is today's lessons. You can write down the steps as well, or you can follow my video later. Right. So you will be clicking on new feed, right? Yesterday we did not create like this. Okay. So new feed, and it is asking what is the name, right? So I'm going to give the feed name same as this name, right? So here you can see, here it is on off button. Actually, the feed name is, see, on off, means everything in simples, right? So we will give that one here. So on off, right? With the status of the LED. So using this value, we can turn on or turn off. Right. So I'm going to create this. Right. So that got created now. Now we have to open that, right? So we can open this. There's nothing coming here. Okay. There's nothing coming here. So you can't just open the feed and you can't send the information. So what we do is, so after we create that on off feed, we will be going to our dashboard. And when we go to our HND51 IoT demo, that is my dashboard. You can see these are the two gauges that we created yesterday. Then they are getting our readings properly. So I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this part and I'm going to select create new block. So when I do that, I am going to do, first of all, today this part. And once the time is permitting, I'm going to do the slider also. Right. So let's select the toggle option, toggle button. Then it is asking enter new feed name. So we are not going to create a feed here. We can select a feed, right? So we can select on off, then we can select next step, right? So that button is shown here. So you can click like this and you can see the test values are changing here. And what is the published value coming? It is just giving you a demonstration. Okay. So either way we can do it, no problem. Let's program this, right? So let us program that. So it is asking what is the block title. So what you want to display here. So let's put on off, on dash off, lab LED, right? Inside our lab, let's say we have LED, we want to switch on and switch off. So just keep a title for that because for these limited number of characters available. So only 6 characters you can type. See, maximum 6 characters possible. Default text is on. Default text is on. And what we're going to do is, after giving the title, you can type a descriptive title. So it is easy for you to understand what it is. And it says button on off, right? Button, sorry, the title, then the button on text. So when it is on, what is the text? You can display that. So if you put 1 here and if you put here 0, then 1 and 0 you can put, right? Like that. So I don't want to do like that. I am just going to keep it the default one, which is on. And you can say button on value users on text if blank. That means if I click this one, you can see you can use the value here. I am going to do this one. You can use on like this, or you can use 1 here. Once it is switched on, you can put 1, or you can put on. So we will use the word on itself. That is pretty simple. So if it is on, we are taking the value on. If you set it to off, we are taking the value as off, right? So that is what we put here. So if you click here, it will demonstrate the things down here, right? So if I put here 1 and if I put 0 here, you will see when I press, you can see test values are changing. So published values and test values are changing here. That is how you will get the readings. Okay. So I want to keep it to same like this, right? Okay. So you can see test values are coming. So this is what the value will be published. I hope you understand that. Is that clear, children, how to create that feed? Right? Just create a feed which will, when you put the toggle buttons, and it will show on and off, and it will give you the values on and off, right? Let's create that block. Okay, nice. You can go to edit layout and you can arrange it nicely. And if you want, you can make it a little bit bigger so it will be visible to us. I'll make it a little bit big so it's visible very well, right? Now, if I click on this, right, and if I go to feeds, and if I check on off, there are no data here. There are no data coming here. And if I go for my dashboard, and if I click on this, right, now this will be publishing data as well. Because I'm doing that one, it is producing data as well. Okay. Right now, if you go and see, there should be values because there is a 4-second delays there, and you can see here these are the values had been captured. See, this value have been captured, so it's not on off cannot be shown here. If you put 1 and 0, the values can be shown in this screen, right? On off, right? So let's go to the program now, right? So let's go to the program now, and we'll keep this dashboard like this, and let's create the program, or we will do the modification to the program so we can read the value from the feed. Okay, right, now coming here, I'm going to write a small code there, right? I'm going to write a code there. So it's a good practice to do. Okay, so that means reading the feed means subscribing. Okay, so you can see there's a code given here. Let's try to a little bit understand that. You can see Adafruit MQTT subscribe, right? So they have put subscription object in front of that. They have used a asterisk mark. Asterisk mark is used for something called pointers. Pointers is like in Java reference variables. This will give you the location of the variable or location of the object. A memory address can be taken from this. You don't have to go deep into the theory part of that. Then we have a while loop here. It's a busy while loop. We have put here busy while loop. This will keep on running and it will be checking whether any readings are coming. So it says while subscription is equals to MQTT. You know what is MQTT? Object dot read subscription. 1000 means I think every 1 second it is reading. Okay, every 1 second it is doing a reading. Then once that's done, if it is true, you go inside. If subscription equals to on off button, that means in your coding, when you're doing here in the initialize part or in the setup section, you can see MQTT dot subscribe. So what are the feeds that we are subscribing? We have to give. See, on off button we have given here. We have to give like this. So that is where we have created this. See, on off button, this one we have done. Okay, so this code is really important, right? Line number 79, you need to do that part. Then only you can start reading from there, right? So subscription equals on off button. Then if the reading, that means if the data packets are coming from on off feed, then this will become true. That's what the idea is. From which feed the data came. So you need to do the corresponding action. That's what's the reason for that. And this is simply there as a code serial.print. This is just an output command you can see. And we display got, this output will come. And serial.println, we say we are converting a value which received from the, what do you call, from the, what do you call like this, on off button is the feed children. From that we get the last read. Last read means, now you know when I'm clicking that button, it is giving either on or off. On or off, those values are coming. Whatever the value comes, it is displaying, right? So here we are getting a string value. That means a set of characters, ON, OOF, OFF, those values are coming. So we are not doing anything here. We are just displaying what is coming. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to do much now. Right, let's compile this program first. Let's turn off this. It's compiling. Okay, no errors. Let's upload the sketch. Okay. Right. Now we will run side by side. Okay. We'll keep this one also. And we will keep our serial monitor on this particular side. So you can see the data what we are sending will be visible here. Okay, it got connected and the temperature readings we are taking now. Now I'm going to click the here on off LED buttons in my Adafruit IoT platform. Okay, Adafruit IoT platform. So let's click on that. And here we should get the value. Here it says got on. That means we are downloading that data. We are subscribing that data. My IoT devices taking information or data from the cloud. Okay. Then if I turn it on, off, you can see that 4-second delay is there that you need to understand. Then it is off, right? So those two values are coming. So now we can do the program, right? Time is also running. So let's do that quickly. Let's do it now here. So we're going to type if condition, if, right? So we are using C++. So we're going to say strcmp, it is string comparison. Then we're going to use, we convert to character type, right? And on button dot last read, comma, within double quotations, if on coming there, and close the parenthesis, equal sign, just put 0 here. That is the syntax that you have to follow, right? Close like this, and we can write the code, what should happen there. And say else, not else, we'll again write another if that is equals to off, what should happen, we will write here. Okay, right, now we will go up here to the coding above the setup code. I'm going to put something like, I'm going to write something like define lab underscore LED 8, because it is set it up to 8th pin in the Arduino. Okay, it is set it up to the 8th pin. Now what I will do next is I will come here in the setup. I need to use the pin mode also. So let's do that here. Pin mode, LED, we'll say it's going to be output. Okay. Then go down. That part is done. Now we can come over here. Now what we can do is we can say serial dot print. And then we can say ability is, you can just put that message, as well as we can say digital, right? And we can say LED, so lab underscore LED, comma, high. That means it will switch on the LED, right? So for the other one, if it is off, we can say the message off here, and we can set this to low. So that is how you can make use of an feed, right? So how can read a feed and how can work on that value, right? So we have to check that whether it is correct. So let's compile the code. Right, no errors. Let's upload this. Okay, and you can see here. It's still uploading. Then it says getting connected. Nice. Right, let's keep those things in this side, and I'll keep my screen this side, right? So you can see the temperature readings are just coming in, right? So let's click on button in the, I'll turn off my one light in the room, and okay, that is, I think, LED. If I switch on, I think you will be able to see this part, right? Okay, I'm going to click on this one. Let's try whether it is working. So you can see the LED is glowing now, right? Now it's glowing really bright. And earlier there was a connection problem. I think that is why it didn't glow very well. Now it's very well glowing, and it says got on and lab LED is on. From anywhere in the world, you can control your IoT device very simply like this. This is just a switching on, switching off an LED. But we can connect it to a relay. Then you can switch off a fan, switch on a AC, switch on your water pump, whatever you want. Okay, right. And we will switch off from here also. I think the text, there's a problem in my, what do you call this, gadget. So just turn it off. After 4 seconds, it is turning off, right? Okay, so that is how it goes, right? So switch on, switch off, right? So we have got it switched on, and let's switch it off. Nice, right? Okay, let's pause the video and go for a small discussion. Right, now students, that I explained you this part well, and you confirmed that you understood this. So I am going to do one more component, or one more, what do you call that, gadget here. Let's put a gadget to our dashboard, which is going to be a slider. We'll put a slider. Sliders can be used for different things. Like, so I would like to have a slider. So if you slide it from one range to another range, values can be obtained, and based on those values, we can do a we can do a, what do you call, we can do a action. Okay, right? Let's say we have a servo motor here, and the pin is there, right? So if we have the structure like this, and you can pass in a value, like you're going to have a slider like this, and the starting value is 0, maximum value is 180, right? So you pull the slider from here to this, exactly this place, that is 90. So you can rotate this exactly 90 degrees. Okay, so once you set it to 0, and you can take it up to this place. So we can remotely open a garage door, or remotely open something, right? So we can do things like that with this very simply. Let's try doing that one now. So first thing I'm going to do is click on this button and create new block. And this time I'm going to select a slider. You can separately create a feed and come here, or directly you can create the feed here and attach it. I'm going to create now from here. You can give a name. Directly I'll give like slider, and we will create it. Once you create, it comes here, you select that and you go next, and you have to configure this, right? And please remember, according to the gauge, or according to the component that you're adding, settings will be different. Okay, settings will be different. Now they have a blank one, set it up, and minimum value is 0, maximum value is 100. So, and you can see test value and published values are here. So if I push here, or if I click, or if I drag like that, that is how it is changing. And the stepping value, stepping value is set to what do you call 10. So 10 by 10, it is increasing. If you want to increase it by 1, you can set it so. So how you want, you can do it. Nice. Now what we will do is, we will do something like this. We'll give a proper title and other values here. We will just fill this one, right? So it's a slider. We can give any name that we want. So because it's just a sample project, I will just give it as slide itself, right? So capital letters, it's not okay. Slider. So you can give a name for this. Slider for opening a door or something, you can do it, right? Slider minimum value. What is the minimum value you want? So it's up to you whatever the minimum value you want to set, right? So it is 0. And let's say maximum value, how much you want to have. Let's say I want the maximum value 180. If it is, you're going to work with this as a servo motor, you can do like that, right? So it's up to you what's the value you want. Even you can give 1000, you can just get the readings, right? So let's set this to 180. And it says slider step value, how much you want. Let's say we want to step it by 1. So each time that you take, so it's going to step by 1 by 1. So if you go to a place and click, it will be automatically going like that too, right? Now, next, what we're going to do is stepping value for simplicity. I will give 5 or 10 here. It's easy. So we'll take like that. And slider label, what this value is. 10 is what? So we'll just say degrees. Okay. If you know how to type that value, you can put, right? So I can't remember the degree. If we know, we can have something like that. Okay, so we'll say, we'll put degrees. Okay. If we are to get decimal places, how many decimal places you want? For this, I don't need any decimal places. I'll just set that to 0, 0. Okay, so you can just push these things up here and there, and you can test the values here. Simply, I just set a slider. Okay, then you can create this block. So that block is also created, right? So it's there. I like to edit it, and I like to make it larger as well, right? So let us keep it that big, right? Now, since this part is done, now let's go back to our coding part. Let's go to our coding part. In the coding part, what we're going to do is, we come here, and we need one more subscribe, right? One more subscribe object. So I will copy this and paste it. And this one, we can simply call it as slider. Okay. And here also our feed name is also slider. So we will give slider there. After that, down here, you need to do one thing, which is MQTT subscribe. So this part, you have to again use the amp sign, then you have to give the slider. This is the pointer where the object is. So we give the location of that. So if you don't have this one, it's not going to work. If you don't attach it with the MQTT, it's not going to work. Then you go down here, and again, we need to write a code. So in here, we need to make sure the readings, are we getting from on-off button feed, or are we getting from the slider feed? So I would like to now, this if condition is finishing here. So this is where the while loop is finishing. So I will place my code here. So I'm going to write this if condition. I'm going to have a copy of the if condition. See, the whole thing I'm copying, right? That part I'm taking inside this, and I'm pasting. That is the reason I kept some comments, so I know what I'm doing, right? I'll take it inside. Only thing I'm going to change is subscription. I will change this to slider, and it says what is the value that we got. We can print it on the screen in a real project. If you don't want, you can comment this. We don't need this, right? Here, if what the value coming there is, we can't write it for every value that is coming, because 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 180 we're going to get. So what I will do is I will delete this one and I'll put a different code, right? So I'll write a different code. So one, I showed you how to work with the character value or text value if it is coming from the feed, how to respond. This one I'm going to show you if a numeric value, how to do that. When you get the readings, always you get the readings in text value, which is non-numeric values. So you need to convert that to numeric value. So to do that, I'm going to use okay. So I'm using a unsigned integer 16-bit type. So we will take something like slider value is equals to, there's a command called ATOI. This command in C++, which is used to, or C programming also it's available, used to convert a string to numeric. Okay, right. So I'm going to use so that's how you do that part. So you know what's happening there. So slider val will have a numeric value, right? Then we'll have it's a serial.println slider val. So we'll print the slider val also so we can see what it is, right? Now we'll, based on the value that we are receiving, we can do something. So I'll just switch on, switch off the LEDs in a range, right? So if we can put slider val is greater than or equal to 90, then we will so we will say if it is greater than or equal to 90, we will write digital write lab underscore LED height. Else means if it is less, then we'll say digital write lab LED low. So in that range, it's going to work for us. Okay, right. Let's save this one and let's compile it first. Nice. There is no errors. Now let's upload that to the board. Okay, it is uploading. Right, uploaded. So we'll keep this one on one side and let's take our Arduino to the other, Adafruit dashboard to the other side, right? So when I make changes to this, right, when I make changes to this slider, I should be able to get the reading here. Let's make a change here, right? So 30 degrees. So, okay, got 30, it's same. So if it goes above 90, LED should glow. You can see my video is also available from the side. You can see. Now you can see when it goes to 130, LED is glowing, right? Let's take to something like 100, still the LED is glowing. Let's take to 90, still the LED is glowing, right? So let's take to 80, LED will turn off. Did you see that? So you can very nicely do that. So if it is a servo motor, you can rotate to a particular degree, right? You can do that particular degree. I'm going to do the servo motors and relay modules, how to use them during the practical sessions. So let me teach you that part as well, right? Okay, so that is the basic part or the idea about this subscribing today. So how to do the subscribing. So I hope you got the good understanding of this one. let's stop the video and we will go for a discussion. Okay, thank you very much.